Hey guys, girls, and dolphins.
Yeah. It's prime time. Animated prime time. God, this guy is hard to find. Luckily, I put in a pre-order at GameStop, which is gonna be a sentence eventually I can't say. And here he is in all his legacy united glory. I thought I was tired of Optimus Primes until I got one that I'm actually interested in and have another one in the long distance. So, toy wise, my God, does he look powerful? Like, just look at that shoulder line. God damn, he's worked out. I wonder if he would have looked like this in season 4. So let's do the side by side again for the third time. And yeah, he's proportionally quite a bit different. Gone are the really skinny, weirdly bowing legs. And in is this absolute uh, brick shithouse of a bod. I realized looking at this picture, what this toy is actually kind of missing is that bright silver. Because the dark gray kind of dulls everything a little bit. There's a little bit of silver on his face. But even then, it could be closer to the white or like bright silver here on the thighs. Anyway, enough staring at pictures of anime. I'll do that later. You want a quick size comparison? Bumblebee. I'm not going to get into every single Optimus Prime I own. Oh, this is awkward. Hmm. If you know, you know. So, I think there are probably two main reasons why everyone loves animated Optimus Prime. First one is he's voiced by David Kaye, Megatron. And if you think about it, the old phrase, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, is kind of the opposite for David Kaye when it comes to Transformers. In fact, you wouldn't even know it was David Kaye because his performance is so different than good old Yesatron. Secondly, we kind of see Optimus at the start of his journey. Like he has to develop through the 3 seasons of animated and a fourth, which got canceled. Although they're doing things to bring it back. But like he's very inexperienced and he has to learn how to lead his team. Rather than the G1 Optimus who kind of already starts off at the end of his journey and you get flashbacks and like little bits of his character throughout the episodes, mostly in flashbacks to when he was Orion Pax. But it's kind of cool because you kind of grow with Optimus in animated rather than we already see him fully developed, and then he's got 3 seasons of G1 where I don't know how much he develops because I still haven't watched it. This guy, let's give you a shot of the head sculpt. I wish he had the faceplate. I'm curious if they're going to release a different version of this guy with the faceplate, because just like Movie Prime, I'm not sure how I feel about a maskless Optimus Prime. Also, wish they give him a better mouth than just a. I wish he had more personality in his face, like Bumblebee does. Like he's just kind of, I don't know, pouting, kind of brooding. I don't really see this Optimus as that brooding type. Color scheme is what you expect. although it's a bit more black than usual. It's broken up nicely. He's still got the classic play in the paws, pointing down to his hands. And not a lot of kibble, just kind of this piece, which can come off and is made entirely of clear plastic. I could probably crush this in my hands right now. I'm not going to. Other than that, very sleek. Just his wheels on his shins. I like this guy. I like the size of him too. He's quite big for a Voyager. I don't have any other Voyagers, but like Deluxe Bumblebee again, not the best scale, but like it feels like you could fit 2 whole Bumblebees. Like this guy's like 2 Bumblebees in a trench coat. Articulation wise, very good, as we expect. Ball jointed neck, can look all the way up. He also has a hinge at the base of his neck to look down. And look side to side. A little bit of tilt, rotation, hinge at the shoulder, which is exposed. That's not my favorite. I can deal with it. This one's a bit tight because it feels like it's working itself out of the socket. You do get a bicep swivel. I like that his arms just look like 2 chunks of a truck. Like once you see how this guy transforms, you realize it's just chunk and chunk of a truck with just barely an elbow grafted on to connect them. But that elbow is double jointed, which is very nice. The wrist is ball jointed, but doesn't really have much waggle to it. About that much room. It can swivel. The waist can swivel very nicely. The hips go forward, backwards, all the way you want them to. And he's not quite full Jean-Claude Van Damme because of the sculpting of his thighs. You can get there, but can't stay. One weird bit of QC on mine. This knee joint's a bit loose. Like this one doesn't move unless I put force into it. This one I don't really have to put force into. It's not a deal breaker. It doesn't like cause him to topple over while posing. But it's just something that is probably exclusive to mine. From what I understand, having a friend who owns his own toy store, this is not a common thing. In fact, I'm the only one who's mentioned having a weak knee like this. But the thigh swivel is good. The knee bend is very deep and actually stays in place. It's just weak a tiny bit. You can kind of give him a bit of a, I don't know what you call that, but his legs are not straight. They're bent forward a bit. Like you can try and go for that pelvic thrust, the Duff Man. And his ankles are on a series of joints for transformation mostly, but you do get a pivot, and you can bend it down. I don't know what it'll do, but articulation is good. It's the standard. It's what we expect. It's very solid. I feel like saying it's the standard is kind of an insult when it's not meant to be. It's just I'm so used to this level that it really doesn't stand out anymore unless you've got something really cool like posable fingers, butterfly joints, like something to actually stand out. For standing out, we have an accessory. 1. We have an axe to grind. And it does fit in his hand. And it looks pretty much exactly or very close to the animation model. with the transparent blade, with the nice silver that I wish was on him more. And the best part about it, you have a port for blast effects to recreate his literally rocket powered axe he had in the show. He literally powered it by, I guess, a rocket? Some weird Cybertron technology? I'm not sure. But this is very nice and also very goofy, and I'm into it. But I want to talk to the men in the room for a second. Now, you ever have a problem and need extra length? I wouldn't know anything about that because I'm the greatest toy reviewer that ever lived. But if you do, this axe has got you covered because it extends. No, I'm not sponsored by Extend. I don't even know if that product is around anymore. More commonly than not, Optimus Prime in animated would wield his axe two-handedly. So you can wield it normally, like a really long axe if you want, which still looks cool. Like, if I just... Actually, there's a lot of dynamic posing you can do with just the axe in one hand, especially when he chokes up all the way on the shaft. Like, he can look quite dynamic and ready for battle. But for some reason, I have a hard time sticking it in both hands. The axe, not what you're thinking. Without it kind of looking awkward or bending. Like, it's supposed to be fit in both his hands. And, like, once you get it in there, I just kind of leave it. Because it's not really in his second hand. It's just, he looks like he's holding it. And that looks incredibly dynamic. Let's, just for fun, let's stick his light bar on the back of it. Because that's something you can do. I don't know why you'd want to. What if... I don't know. Let's leave it on his back. Robot mode, I really like. He's fun to play with. He genuinely is just fun to play with. And I hope more people get a hold of him. Because the convention I was at recently had a couple. And I don't know if how many GameStop got in. Because when I went to the store, like hours after my pre-order, there weren't any on the shelf. Like when I went to pick up my pre-order, there weren't any on the shelf. So I don't know. But from what I've seen, he and somebody else that I'm looking at were pretty hard to get out of United Wave 1. We do have a vehicle mode, just to show you can store the axe in many places you want. If you want to do the G1 thing of like Optimus transforming his hand into an axe, you could sort of get away with that visual by folding in his hand, which is part of the transformation spoilers, and pegging the axe into the port right where the wrist is. And that is a decent job to recreate that gimmick. I don't think he ever used it like this in animated. You could also store it, if you want, on his back, plugging it into the translucent plastic that I'm never going to do again. He's also got ports on his feet and his shin if you want shin mounted axe action. Action. But we must get to his fire truck mode. I've already started by folding in the hand, so you can fold in the other one. And we're going to rotate the bicep. No, we're not actually. We're just going to plug it in. We rotate it later, but just plug them both in. And we're going to switch to Legsville. So we're going to pull that, use the joint in the foot. We're going to straighten this out for now and leave it at that. We'll come back to it briefly, do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to unpeg this piece and unpeg the front. And I will show you another QC issue right now. Can you see? Can you? What's the best way? That is sheared off. So on one side you can see a full triangle right here, which kind of tab in like on his chest. Like they're the main things that slot in right in there. But on this one, it's kind of hard to see because it's clear translucent plastic. Yeah, it's right there. It's sheared right off. In fact, I probably could break it more if I really wanted to. Like, as you can tell, the rest of his chest isn't translucent plastic. It's just there's a translucent plastic insert. And this is why people talk about bad translucent plastic so much. Because of things like that, I wouldn't have even noticed it if I wasn't playing with this guy so much. But we're going to move that up and out of the way. And we're going to come to these bits and we're going to fold him up like this. It also would be good to rotate the entire rest of his body so we can get it up and out of the way. We want to fold these bits in, and then the truck parts will rotate and tab in right here. Rotate and tab in, tab in. And then we're going to fold them up. And you want to slide the backpack bad over top of them. And before we shove the front in, I just want to show off. He has molded in seats. He has room for 2 passengers. He has a molded in steering wheel on the left side, the American side, the correct side. And he even has some molding on the other side to keep the passenger occupied, right under that broken tab. I can't tell what it is. It kind of looks like a tape. Although this guy was made in 2007. The design was made in 2007. But we're going to close this and make sure it pegs in to those 2 holes in the shoulders. Just line up everything like that. This goes back over, nestles in tightly. And then we're going to tab that in and then collapse the shins into themselves. They don't really tab in, they just kind of stay. These 2 pegs on the feet are going to peg into the shin. Or is it the calf? Okay. But then they're going to lock together and finish off this rather nice fire truck mode. I like this design for Optimus Prime. A fire truck is honestly a lot more interesting than like just a semi-truck. Even though this still has the G1 kind of red box on wheels element to it. It has a light bar because in an emergency, they need to get through all the traffic. So yeah, they have sirens and light bars, just like police cars, to make sure cars get out of the way. It's a fire. It's a very it's like a fire's like a quick time event. You have very limited time to put it out before more damage gets done. And now you can see what I mean. The arms are just basically windows on them. They don't even have sculpted doors. How's somebody going to get in there? Oh yeah, we're just going to peel off the face of the truck. And I really like the fact that he's just saying like, "Hi, I'm here." I find that really funny that his head is just there, and none of his body is in the correct way to actually get him to, like, he probably can't even move or look left or right. He has a grill now. He has that classic G1 grill, which was kind of folded up into his chest before. The only issue, my only real nitpick, is the feet. I wish they were incorporated better somehow. I don't know how, but they just stand out way more than I would like. Although they do provide weapon storage. There you go, it's an axe. You know what? I actually like it better as an attack mode. Shove it there. I know a fire truck wouldn't have like nitrous on it, but he might use the axe as a nitrous boost. Just go and then probably cut through the ankles of some Decepticon he's trying to go after. You could again plug it on the police light bar, but clear plastic, I really don't want to do that. So we could do size comparison. Here's a size comparison with Prowl. And here's Bumblebee. Scale be damned. See that scale? Damn you. I like this toy. His modes, I feel like, are kind of flawed. The truck mode, more flawed. I didn't even think about the actual where the wheels are until my buddy and I were talking about it, and he was complaining on how the tires are too far back because it's normally a front wheel vehicle, I guess. I'm not a truck aficionado. I'm not. So to me, it looks good, and there are still front wheels. So there are technically there. They're just covered up by this gray detailing. Yeah, he's compacted a bit. He still feels pretty good. He rolls very well. You can probably hear that. Yeah. And I definitely recommend him if you can find him. We've got Wave 2 coming out very shortly in April. Have you got your pre-orders in? I got my pre-orders in. I'm also looking at a toy that I've gotten ahead of its street date. Thank you, Robot Scrapyard. We'll take a look at in the future before the release of Wave 2 properly, I think, if I can actually get the dang video done. But for now, I think I'm going to keep playing with this guy. Who else? There's so many we need in animated. I don't know who else. You could probably get. I don't know if you want to do a Motor Master out of this animated Motor Master. Like there's that Bulkhead. No, Yes, but Breakdown recolor new head out of Bulkhead, the Legacy Bulkhead that's coming out that I'm probably not going to get. Honestly, doesn't look that appealing. It looks better. The mold looks better as Breakdown than it does Bulkhead, but I don't really think I need another version of that mold. But there are so many animated characters that deserve toys. I'm going to throw out a spitball one who I think could get a better toy than their original animated RC. I know Prime RC, but I think we could do a much better Legacy animated RC than the RC toy that actually got released during animated. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Truck on, and also keep it weird. Bye.